Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Fire Them Cannons Arsenal podcast with Cal and Anton. I'm CalGunner. Cal, this is my co-host Anton. And today the main topic of conversation is, picking up the pieces after our Aston Villa loss, analyzing that game, how we feel about it, what we need to do moving forward. And is it panic stations yet? Or we just, keep calm, let's stay cool and press on. And please remember to like and subscribe as it helps support the channel. And you can also help supporting us by subscribing to our individual channels in the corner there by scanning the QR code. And yeah, thanks for being with us. And how are you feeling, Anton?
Oh, man, stressful. Stressful. I don't know what it's like to lose games, but I don't like it. Freaking hell, Arsenal, get your shit together because I'm having to be the one that has to stand in for you guys while all of the Arteta outers and all of the rivals come at me for all the things I've said. And now's Cal's chance, although Cal and I, everyone knows, are good friends. This is Cal's chance to come at me and make me have to atone for my sins. So yeah, let's do this. We're ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, and let's get straight into it. I think we've had a long time to kind of digest, we've both kind of set our own opinions on different channels. We both came onto the Football Terrace and gave our opinions to the game reaction live and raw, and then you showed up on the Big Six, I'm pretty sure, and I showed up on
and I've been on Gunner's Therapy as well.
Gunner's Therapy, and I've also been on Mo and Husam's channel just talking about that as well. So yeah, so we've set our pieces on other people's channels. Time to say our stuff on our own channels, and let's get straight into it and let's talk about first things first. First topic is game reaction. We lost. Why did we lose? Why did we lose the game? Why did we lose the game, Anton?
Oh, can I finally say it without people being like, "Oh, excuse maker"? All right, guys. I'm just gonna have to. Here you go, David. Fingers crossed. First things first. Are the wheels falling off?
That's a legitimate question. We're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get to that, but in short, no.
Also, love the profile pick update.
I'll pick it up again.
It looks
amazing. I love that, David. By the way, I have nothing but good stuff to say about you, David. Me and Cal were just talking about you backstage, or we're just saying that you're a
good guy.
You're a very good guy. I wish of all the people, all the Arsenal haters that could have been on stream with me to try to give me a cooking, I would have taken you as my first choice. I told Cal that because at least you listen,
yeah,
and you listen before you respond, and that's something I think is a really good quality in a human being. And David, you're a top man.
Top man, David. Big praise from Anton. Now, Anton, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Why did we lose?
Yeah, why did we lose? Oh, look, I'm going to be straight to it. There are certain. I know I've praised the squad all year. I'm going to turn more of this light on. I know that I've praised the squad all year and said how deep of a squad we are, but I could never have accounted for the amount of injuries we had in a concentrated area, and not just a concentrated area. For me, the most important area on the pitch, literally what we build our identity around, which is defense. Like for Arteta's system to work properly, you need to have the security of the defense. Now we're going to get into the Aston Villa part of this because I do feel like they do need praise, and you need to take that part.
They do.
That part is really, really key, right? But from an Arsenal perspective, I knew that we would not be winning before when I saw the lineup. And for all of you guys, and I'm going to get to, we've got a few comments coming up, and we'll read them out in a second. When we get to our lineup, and I see that Saliba is not in the lineup, that's it. And by the way, and the other one we'll get into, the other person in the lineup that I felt that shouldn't have been there also, I think, played a big real role in it. And Arteta himself at halftime admitted that it probably was not the right decision to start this man. But let's start in the important thing, the real thing that makes the difference in the game, and that's the defense. We sat on here 6 days ago after the last game, and we were worried about Declan Rice's health. Now, thank God, Declan Rice is okay, but that was a warning sign. The Declan Rice injury was a pure warning sign that our midfield, they are wearing out. They the issues that we've had so far this year, we're having injuries literally in concentrated areas. First, it was the attack. Now it's the defense. Where Arteta needs to learn, and maybe we'll get into that a later, is that he needs to see the red flags before it becomes an issue. And there are red flags in the midfield right now. And we knew how hard Declan Rice has been working. We had I said that if Rice wasn't fully available, I would even sacrifice this game as long as Saliba was there. Saliba was not there. We had to play Rice yet again. And for me, Nkapie, as I've said, stressed many times, is a left back. Timber, I don't know, people say he can play at right back, and Cal was saying last week he's really impressed at how he was able to play center back, but he is a right back by trade. Ben White, I know, is probably originally a center back. It's been like 3 or 4 years since he's actually played at center back. He's a right back. And Calafiori, I know he plays center back for Italy and he plays it 7 times for us. But in 2 years for Arsenal, he's a left back. So we didn't actually have a true center back on the pitch. So this is even worse than what Rice had to babysit before. This is like guys who were trying to do their job for the very first time, and it completely made us unstable. And add that to the fact that now we've gone to a stadium, Villa Park, where we have struggled with every single year, where they like to play intense and run, and they hit you on the counter attack. And Ollie Watkins is always somehow through one-on-one on goal with us all the time. Add those ingredients together. I saw the lineup at the beginning of the game, and I was like, we're in trouble. Other part about this is Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino does not have the pace to deal with the fast track that is Villa Park. What the fuck? I'm sorry to say this, Arteta, but sometimes you have to be a little bit more proactive. I know one guy is on form, but sometimes you have to be like, let me switch this before the guy who is on form shows me his true colors. Let's be proactive here. You know, Mikel, you've done a great job, but I've got my 70, 60 million pound striker back fit, healthy in a game that is crying out for him. He's literally shown me in his substitute appearance last time that he changes the game, that we're able to create chances a lot more. Spaces are a lot more available when he's there. Let's go with that. I don't have a defense, so the best form of defense for us today would be attack. And we wasted 45 minutes in this game with Mikel Merino in the striker. We just did. And you can't tell me that I'm lying, because the manager also realized that himself. All right. I'll let you get to there's more to go. That's just an intro. But let's read some of the things, and then Cal, you tell me what you think. Maybe we're back to the things I said, and some of your piece. But yeah.
All the 777 says Arteta should be ashamed. We are where we are only because of Arteta, except Timber, Rice, Gabby, and XL. Oh, Big Gabby.
Big Gabby, because we got
Everyone is average, and Arteta's system tactics make them look good. You're forgetting. I think there's an exaggeration. I think we have a lot of very, very exceptional players on this team. But I do think
at
the very least should be ashamed. Edu Berta Cronkies have failed Arteta. He will win quadruples at any other club. I
don't think
based on the summer. Based on that, I'm sorry. Based on the summer that we just had,
take out Berta and Cronkies, and then you're accurate.
Yeah, Edu, Edu was a massive failure. I think
I was a big Cronky hater, still am. But the way they backed this man this summer, and they backed Andrea Berta, they gave everything they could. So they have nothing to do with them.
Yeah. He also says Saka has 2 chances to score. Merino had 1, Rice had 1. That's enough to win. Players are letting Mikel down. I think he did kind of, like, based on some of the chances I was seeing in the game, I think they did let him down.
The man who replaced him also let us down.
I think, and I don't think that's just based on the game. I don't think that's a season thing
Mm,
First, Nate the Gunner, thanks for being here, bro. You always help
mm.
support the channel here. First three choice strikers and backup left winger, right winger, and first choice 10 out, and we kept winning. Now at first three choice center backs out, dropping points is expected. People relax. That's reasonable. That's a
You know
very
what? I
reasonable
feel like
take.
you attract the viewers that you want for your channel, and Nate the Gunner is the perfect viewer for this channel. Big ups, Nate.
Nah, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting people who challenge us as well. That's all good as
Of
well.
course, but yeah,
Arteta wanted Paulinia. He was given Norgard. He wanted Sesko, but I gave him mini fridge Eucharist. I'm not having any Eucharist slander on here, bro. I'm not having any Eucharist slander on here. That again, I do agree that Norgard is like terrible, but we got him
look,
for
I
like
think there are
he
certain
Norgard
respects.
was a stopgap guy. He's
There
a
there
stop.
are certain respects, by the way, where Gyökeres definitely deserves criticism. He's neither of us have denied he's underperformed this season, but the way some people are chatting about him,
It's
like as if it's gone way too far, and
yeah.
there's you're not being reasonable here. I
Yeah.
think.
Also, like people forget, like I'll get into it, but like
Yeah,
as soon as he was starting to see form, he got injured, and then he hasn't started the game since he's come back. So, but
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
segment
We'll
on
get there.
that, and we'll
Yeah,
get into it later.
yeah.
Nate the Gunner again says he's just talking to David here, telling I'll just skip that one. And don't you think Luck is an not match fit to start yet? He looks poor. To be honest with you, he just hasn't had enough game time. He needs to be played into form. Like he's not gonna get into match fitness not playing football games. He needs to play football. Like he
One
just
thing,
does.
one thing I'll also say as well in response to this, Nate, is that, and me and Cal have spoken about this before. We just don't feel that Gyökeres is an impact sub. That's not his role. Like he is better starting from at the start of the game.
Yeah,
You're going to see the best parts of him. He needs to get an understanding with his left and right wingers, with his attacking 10. All
yeah,
of those pieces have, by the way,
yeah.
switched around. When he was healthy, those pieces were barely not really. He was the most healthy attacker at the point when he was healthy.
Yeah.
The rest of them, we had no left wingers at times, we had no right wingers at times, we had no
And
Cam at times.
we're throwing him into a team that's different from the team that he started off with because the injuries have reversed. So now he's playing with center backs that he didn't used to play with before.
There's so much
He
context that
played
goes
more with
into
Madueke than he played with Saka. It's like it's just you know what I mean. So yeah,
he played with
that's
Odegaard for about a game and a half.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Taral Gunner, yours on here. Thanks, bro. Big up to you as well. And of course, big up the chat always.
Yeah, and
And
yeah, big up the chat. Thank you guys for all showing up here. What time is it for you
yeah,
guys? Like 8 a.m. Big up to you
yeah.
boys.
Yeah, and I'll just say this,
Yeah,
based
what's
on
your what are your
my
thoughts?
thoughts. Yeah, my
I feel
thoughts
like
on
we
the
need to
game.
do a lot more than just one monologue each to get through this
Yeah,
game. We're gonna have a whole
yeah,
pod when I get through it.
yeah.
But yeah.
Um, I was pretty confident with the lineup when I saw it. Wasn't as when I saw it. I think Anton in the chat, you were more upset than me. I said, "No, I think we can get something out of this," and I think we were based on the game that I watched. I think we were more than capable in getting something out of it. It took, the last kick of the game for us to essentially um, not get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think. I think just watching the game, the stability that we had just wasn't there, and it was pretty obvious. The game turned into a basketball match, and I just don't like something I didn't like to see. Um, we created chances, especially in that second half, and we just didn't take them. You were playing good football for spells, and we weren't clinical enough. There were chances where our midfielders, both Rice and Odegaard, got into very good goal scoring positions and just P rolled the ball into the keeper. We didn't, make that shot like a shot that Eze would shoot. We just didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there. So during the game, we created shots for our midfielders, but our midfielders aren't the type to score goals like that. So the chances, fell on the wrong players. I think I think I'm seeing a lot of Saka hate that I don't agree with. I thought he had a decent game. I thought he was one of our biggest outlets. I think I've seen people say that he had a horrible game. I don't know what match they were watching. I think all the good things in the attack came through Saka. He didn't score, but like he should have gotten an assist, but he didn't because he was the one who created the dangerous chance that Trossard eventually
Oh,
finished.
wait, he also had remember an assist for Eze that was ruled offside. That moment
Exactly.
by the way has not been spoken about
No,
once
yeah.
on
Oh, yeah. I
stream
forgot about
the
that.
entire
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Kelly also says, "Come on, you Gunners! Come on, you Gunners!" Nate is saying,
By the way,
would also like to see
welcome to Fire
Jesus.
Them
They
Cannons,
both need
Kelly.
minutes to get match fit, and that's yeah, I agree
Yeah, I
with
like
that.
to say Jesus too. I would like to.
Yeah,
By the way, they apparently. By the way, new team news: Max Dowman is now going to be apparently injured, which I don't
yeah,
think affects Arsenal season at
yeah,
all.
yeah. It doesn't
But
really
for
affect
him,
us.
obviously, we need to look after that boy.
Yeah,
So, but that being said, it opened up a spot for Gabriel Jesus now to be included into the
I mean, I think
Champions
Gabriel
League team.
Jesus is always
So,
going to kind of hop in there. I think Max Darman. I think they're just sidebar. I think how they're approaching Darman is the right thing to do. He's playing with the under 21s at this stage in his footballing career. He needs to be playing football, building out fitness. He needs to be hitting the gym, putting on some weight, putting on some muscle, strengthening his bones, eating healthily. That good stuff. He's 15. He doesn't need to be rotting away at the bench for the first team right now. We just need to
mm,
protect the guy.
mm.
And yeah, just and one of the other reasons why we dropped points is the fact that Aston Villa are a good team. I think they're now 7 or 8 games wins on the bounce, like just wins, which
Right.
is they're the most informed team, you know. And yeah, only issue is you can't play Champions League
So
now.
he
Just
was registered now for the Champions League
yeah, they registered
because
him.
Max
Yeah,
Dowman has now been taken off of the Champions League roster. They opened up a spot for Jesus. The issue before was that they were thinking that maybe they had to take Mosquera off the Champions League roster, and they weren't willing to do that because his injury is not long term enough.
mm.
But for Max Dowman, they're willing to do it. So that's
And
why.
once you get dropped from it, you can't go back. Is that the thing?
Right. That's it. Correct.
Okay, okay, that makes
So
sense.
they don't. They wanted the ability to have Mosquera obviously
Just in there, obviously.
in there. So yeah. So Max Dowman's been taken off of the list.
Yep,
So
yep.
which is
And
fair.
yeah, just objectively speaking, with time to cool off, time to reflect, think about the game. Aston Villa are just a good team. They're a great team, and they hate us. Emery, Emery hates us. You know what I'm saying? And he just wants to beat us every single time. He will take every opportunity he can to kind of get one over us. Um, I think every single time this is so annoying to me because every single time we play Aston Villa, I have to hear the Emery revisionist conversations concerning his tenure at Arsenal Football Club, which is just annoying. But that being said, he's a decent coach and he played his cards correctly for the game. And they always give us trouble, and they're in form. So those are the two things as well. I think you were right in a lot of things you were saying with the injuries that were had to our center backs. When you have the best center back pairing in the league and they're both not playing in the football game against the most informed club in the league right now, it's like it's a recipe for disaster. So
And
um
then add to that, the backup is also out.
yeah, our backup, yeah. So our like three of our first three, our top three choice center backs are just injured. So um yeah, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? But
I
it's
mean,
still
no way. That's
disappointing.
to discredit Villa, as you said.
Yeah,
Villa played very
yeah,
well.
yeah.
They're a hard game anyway. It makes it that much harder. That's why for me, people who say, "Oh, you're making excuses now," and that's the part that annoys me is that like
It's not an excuse, it's just an explanation. You can't have these massive, massive players out and expect everything to just be okay because let's be honest, guys, but when before Gabriel got Big Gabby got injured, we were saying he was the player of the season so far. That's like if Haaland got injured, for City, or Foden got injured for City. You're gonna feel those effects. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but it's still, yeah, it's just disappointing that we've dropped uh points in 3 out of our last 5, obviously.
yeah.
And we have City on our tails again. And for me personally, it's PTSD settings. For
Mm.
me
Like,
personally,
for me though, I just want to vent just a little bit. Just sometimes in some of these drop point games,
yeah.
every single one of them, none of them have taken me by surprise. Like when we go in, like, by the way, I was saying this before the Sunderland game. I'm like, when Gyökeres getting injured, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're just putting in your Gyökeres agenda. Moreno will be fine." Blah 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 blah. Right? And I'm seeing, like, I'm saying, "Are we in an injury crisis?" And Cal goes, "We're not in an injury crisis." Not to take you down. Like you said that one comment, but there are other people who are saying other stuff, right? Um, I saw that team, by the way, off the back of how many much traveling they do. I'm like, fuck, we have nothing in attack here, and we had two moments of brilliance from Trossard and from Saka, right? And we were seconds away from holding on, and the fatigue mentally dropped us out in that game. I could like we sat here before that game, and we're like, damn, this is going to be a tough one. Please, Arsenal, right before the international break, get this over the line, please. Both of us said that because we noticed that something about this upcoming game was going to be very challenging, and whatever was working for us, the formula wasn't there for that one. In the Chelsea one, I was fucking sure we were going to beat Chelsea, and then I wake up and I see William Sleeper's out. I'm like, fuck me. Now, the excuses kind of go away when they got into 10 men and we're not able to navigate that fine. And I think that the team does deserve criticism for that. But Chelsea also deserve praise in the way that they defended and the effort that they put in that one.
I think that drop points is probably the most inexcusable one thus far.
Yeah.
The
And
Chelsea
this
game.
one, I could smell it from a mile away. You saw the lineup, and I'm like, there's no way. What Arteta does, what Arteta's system that he usually works that is successful, we don't have that to lean on today. And I got Declan Rice probably at 60% capacity.
Towards the last 20 minutes of the game, I could just tell. Like we were slow, like we were just being outrun. And it just wasn't good. And we had no one, you know. Nate the Gunner, thanks again, says facts loss at Anfield, draw to City, draw away at Sunderland and Chelsea are all acceptable. Would have been happy with a draw, so the loss was a disappointment. To be honest, towards the very end of the game, I was accepting of the draw and I was thinking to myself, well,
Same.
at least we got out of there with a point. And then last minute, bro,
That is what hurts. That's what I don't like, right? That is the part of the analysis that I do not like. Is that, like, the way that goal fucking happens, and by the way, I'm pissed off in how it's happened. The whole sequence pissed me
the
off.
sequence is like the most.
But I'm not throwing out the entire performance or all of our other 14 league performances that we've done
Yeah.
this season because of that one moment. And that's what all the rivals are doing. That's what they want us to do.
So
That's
okay,
why, like,
let's talk about some of the positives of the game. I think
yeah,
one of the
let's
biggest
do that.
positives from the game was in that second half, um, the attack when Trossard came on the field, when Trossard and Gyökeres came on, and I felt like and we saw the Ben White, Saka, Odegaard partnership again. We were moving the ball quickly again,
At
and
that
I
point in the game, I
saw
thought
a
we were going to go
glimpse.
on to win it.
Yeah,
I thought we were
yeah,
putting them under
I saw a
pressure.
glimpse. Yeah, I saw a glimpse of like the super fluid attacking football that I saw in 22, 23, and a bit of that 23, 24. And that's probably the biggest positive of the game that I could remember. Um, and it also kind of reminds me how good of a player, that we still have Ben White, in our team. He's still here. I think Odegaard had a good performance. I think he's been a bit scapegoated for some reason. The agendas, actually, we have a segment on that as well in terms of the agendas. But yeah, I think that's probably the only part that I liked. I think we had a spell in there where we looked really good. It's just that we really couldn't convert. And yeah, and I think it's probably time to move on to just the second part, and it's still an analysis of the game, but it's just kind of like a second part of that where I just wanted to talk about, the style of play. We have two massive elephants in the room right now, and it's, you know, the striker, well, almost like three to be honest, but it's like the striker, attacking midfielder, left wing problem at the club right now. I think, and I don't think it's. I think it's a multifaceted problem, as we can see. I think, and I'm just gonna call people by their names right now. I think we have a Mikel Moreno problem, a Mikel Moreno
Mhm.
Gyökeres problem, where, in my opinion, I think Gyökeres should be playing a lot more football. He should be played into fitness. And Mikel Moreno was always a short-term solution to big problems. He is not the answer. And it really doesn't matter what a lot of rivals go and tell me, but he scores all these goals. If you watch the football game and you're rewatching the football game and you're seeing him misplace the passes and not impact the game on a consistent basis, it's not he's an impact guy. He's a guy you put on there. You're trying to get a goal in the last 20, 30 minutes of the game to kind of shake things up, get into spaces that the opposition team isn't going to be about, and stuff like that. And Eucharist is the guy. He's the guy that we bought, and if we can get him into form, he will help us win the league. And also, we also have another problem. The Eze versus that Eze this Eze problem in the team, and the problem is, um, we play a completely different style of football with him as a 8 or slash 10 with Odegaard. And today he just did not look good in our left winger in that left wing position. I think we demand, our left wingers have to be good defensively. And as brilliant as Eze is going forward, he just doesn't have the defensive awareness to be effective for me personally long term for us in that left wing position. It's something that, and he's not a young guy, he's not going to learn how to do this stuff. And we saw it today, for that first goal that we conceded. Eze just completely loses it. He loses his guy. So it's inexcusable, that goal.
Mm.
If that was Trossard, or even Martinelli, even though that doesn't we don't concede there, you know. And I think that's a problem. And Eze is imperious in that 10 position, but we also we play really good football with Odegaard. With Eze, we have this dynamic guy who can score goals for us, but then we also have Odegaard that can help us control the games and plays a style of football I feel that Arteta wants. So it's a little bit of a dilemma for me. I don't know how we solve that problem. And with Trossard picking up an injury again, because reports came out that's why he got subbed off again.
You know,
Um,
Arteta, by the way, has already spoken on that. Though
the DD says not an injury.
he said that he took him off because he only had a certain amount of time that he was willing to play him at his capacity right now.
Okay, so it's not an
So
injury.
he had a time limit. It was always the play. He read for his Champions League pre-match. They asked him how Trossard's health is. Maybe we can bring that
Yeah.
on the screen. But there are a lot of things. There are a lot of updates Arteta has in his pre-match for the Champions League. So a lot of definitely important answers. Yeah, we should go back and read some of these messages from Nate as well. By the way, on the Marino thing, I feel like it would be a crime for me to add anything on to what you said, because you have spoken exactly what I've been wanting in my head to say about Mikel Marino, but you verbalized it out loud in a way I've been wishing to verbalize it all week. So thank you for that. So I'm not going to add anything to that. I'll just fuck it up from there. So,
Well, yeah. Nate the Gunner again says would be happy with a draw before the game, losing to last minute because we switched off and tired, which is understandable. So I can accept that. Yeah. To be honest with you, it's like if Nkapie just kicks the ball out, we just draw the game, bro. Like, because he makes a game-winning tackle, wins the ball back, runs out, and then just kicks it to the side when he should be kicking it
see, that's
down.
where Saliba is different, right?
Yeah.
Saliba is calm and composed in those moments.
Yeah.
Like, do you realize that Saliba's not the type to just kick it out? Neither is Gabriel, really, unless it's like nearly on the touchline. But when he's in the middle, he's not running around and then clearing it.
Yeah,
He's like,
they're
okay,
very composed.
let
He's
me
this guy
see if I can.
like in Capier, he crumbled. Completely panicked. He just
Yeah.
panicked. Anyway, Native Gun as well says only worries if we tired already. Players aren't coming back. We're getting more injuries. We have even more games coming up, so it'll be dangerous. Where do we start?
So this is where I think this is what I actually want to come in because it's a great segue, Nate, on where I think that the what's the word I'm looking for here? The light at the end of the tunnel is coming here for us, and it's the following. The news have come out that, by the way, Rice has been left out of the squad for tomorrow, which I think tells you that Arteta is learning. Because where I would have hit the panic button is if the team sheet comes out tomorrow or tonight for you guys, and I'm seeing Rice starting, and I'm like, nah, he left him at home. So he's going to get to rest in this one. That, I think, gives him the option of playing him against Wolves. I still preferably wouldn't start him against Wolves. I think we can beat Wolves with Moreno and Zubimendi as a partnership. Zubimendi is another one to keep your eye on as well, because I think the two of them have both played too much. But you're going to get that. Then we got Wolves, the next opponent, which for two things gives us the easiest team to play in the Premier League, especially at the Emirates. With the pressure of Man City of being 22 points behind us, it's literally the perfect opponent.
I'm just going to say this.
We got a week's break afterwards. So in terms of us being able to kind of rest and recuperate, get that energy back in the legs, get those better performances back, what I think is really good about that Everton game, and I know like I was on Negative Dan, he's like, oh, the Everton's games be a problem. For me, as long as everything's managed correctly, the Everton game does not have the same issues as the other away games. You don't have a midweek game in before. It's not the last of a big week. We're literally going to have a whole week off before you're in there. So they're going to be fully recharged and be able to apply themselves in the way that they want to apply themselves for the whole 90 minutes. And you're going to get the best, I think, out of whoever is on the pitch in that day. And we might have Saliba back. So I think the good news is that I don't think it's going to get worse from here. We're here at this time. Like, that's why this game, like just like the Sunderland game, was important just to get over the line, because you had that sort of period in the season where we could kind of regroup. And I think that's here now. That's why this game tomorrow for me, nothing burger. Anyway, you continue.
And I'll just say this. Yes, it's really good that Rice is getting that break. And let's considering Wolves is almost like not even a game. Like
let's not tempt it too much. It's still a football game.
Did you see?
I did.
Wolves versus Manchester United.
I'm just being very nice to them, Cal, because I've had an entire week of having to fucking face the music, and I'm not going to sit here and get clipped up of being Wolves are so shit. Wolves are so bad. Wolves are blah 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 blah. And then if somehow, by some way, some miracle,
if we
drop points to them,
if we drop points to Wolves, I have like my hope is kind of like, like where do we go from here?
Even me,
like,
and that's why,
2 point Wolves
at the Emirates, not at Molineux.
At the Emirates, no way. The Wolves team have zero confidence.
Percentage-wise, according to my algorithms I use for the Anton's tiers, by the way, hit the QR code at the bottom once we remove this, and you can see Anton's tiers coming out in the next couple of days, has the least impact of any game is beating Wolves. It doesn't change your algorithm at all. The highest impact of negativity is losing to Wolves. It goes on the exact reverse.
Oh, dude, it's like, like I don't know if you play any online games, but like online games these days, there's always elos. Even in chess, in the elos, it's like the higher opponents you play, the more rank points you get, and the lower opponents you play, the more you lose. It's like that's how it is with this Wolves team.
This is why me and Kyle have a podcast together, and maybe it was by sheer dumb luck that I got a podcast partner who actually understands this shit. But that's how I analyze football. Exactly how you said it. When I rank teams, I don't look at the table. I'm like, you beat this team, that equals a different amount of points to me than actually just 3.
Yeah.
You go to Anfield, you win. That's like a 10 points in my head. You go to
by the way, for guys,
you go to Etihad and win, that's 10 points in my head. For other teams other than us, you go to the Emirates and win, that's like 10 points. on the flip side, if you play
I,
Wolves
I,
at home or Burnley at home or West Ham at home and you lose, that's the same impact.
just so people don't
Negatively.
know, because they don't know Anton. It's like Anton's put together like kind of like a spreadsheet and list where he ranks the teams, and on a week by week basis you kind of accumulate points, and that's why you're saying different teams are with different points. People that don't understand, they might be saying he's crazy for saying you get more points because they're thinking about Premier League points, but no, this is like just for Anton's tiers in his channel. Please like and subscribe, and to Hotsport, which is his channel
Yeah,
right here,
yeah, yeah,
bottom left, and that's where the point system in his kind of tier list comes from. So
yeah,
that's where that conversation comes from.
yeah.
Nate the Gunner says, "Good news. Play Norgard, play Ethan, play Skelly. Don't like Norgard, but at least he will be able to give Supermandy a rest." And yes, I would play Skelly as the eight for in that Rice position, because I feel like Skelly in that defensive position is becoming more obsolete.
Can we talk about
Um,
him? Can we talk about him, Cal? I don't know if you felt this
There's
way.
one more comment before
All right,
we
we'll do
get into
that.
that one. Nate just says we need an early Dubai trip. Lol.
Yeah,
To
do
be
we
honest,
have that? Do we have that in the schedule this year? I don't think so.
nah,
I think
we've
that was. I
pretty
think
much,
that was. Yeah, I don't remember why that was that year where they had that
yeah,
like 2 week break,
yeah,
self-imposed.
yeah. To be honest with you, like Club Bruges and Wolves should be our break. We should not be playing
And then
our
we have
bona
a
fide
week off.
titles for those
By
games.
the way. We
Yeah.
don't have a midweek game after that, which is why that's why for me, like, so I was going to
So
close
after
my
Wolves, we
thing.
get a full 7 days until our next game.
That's why for me, see, this is why when people say like, and I wish negative Dan, I tried to explain this to
I
a
thought we
negative
played
Dan.
Crystal Palace for the Carabao. That the quarterfinal for that.
Oh, we were at the FA Cup in the Carabao. That's why. That's what Nate's saying. All
Yeah.
right, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, true. We're definitely. Let's see. That's another fixture in December on the
Yeah.
Carabao.
Yeah.
But no, this is what I was trying to explain to Danny, and I wonder what you think. Like I've just literally broke it down for you before in terms of heading into the Everton game, and Dan goes, look at our last three games away from home. We dropped points in all of them, but for me, there was a certain formula going into that game in all those games that all read the same for me, which I don't feel reads the same for Everton. If we lose or drop points to Everton, then I'm gonna be on that negative Dan point of like, man, we got a problem with our ability to win games away from home. But we're gonna have an entire week off after the backup playing Bruges and Wolves. That should be the real continuation of our season. We should be well rested and recharged. We could play there at home on Mars. We should win that game based off just us being at full energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so would you agree
And
with what I'm
we
saying?
need to put together a run. We need to put together a run. Like, it's good to not panic right now and stuff, but like, come on. Like we got to put together a run, boys, if we want to win this league. You know
But
what
you
I
agree
mean?
with the analysis I said. It's not insane what I just said.
I but what are the factors though? Like what's the main factor that's different for you for this Everton game?
All right, explain to you the other ones. We spoke about the Chelsea week where we had Spurs and Bayern, right? And I said
Mm,
that week that third game was always going to be the toughest one because you're going to expand your energy on the first two games, and those were
yeah.
emphatic statement making wins.
Mm,
Where by the way, most of our more important players played. And by the way, it's no coincidence to me that Saliba playing on his own without Gabriel in both of those amazing wins blew a tire.
mm,
Like because he doesn't have Gabriel, so he's using more energy than normal,
mm.
right? That Chelsea game, I didn't expect Saliba to be out, but it's part of that. Like it's at the end of a very exhausting week. The Sunderland game, while the opponents are not as hard, we're doing a lot of traveling, is the end of a very exhausting week. This game against Villa, we already were like fucking panicking, even though we won against Brentford. It wasn't a fucking great performance.
Yeah, it wasn't
And
like
we could see
super good.
all of our players are like, we weren't even sure if Rice was even fit. We
Mm,
weren't even sure when we're going to see his leave again. We saw Mascara come off. The team basically just got it over the line and with all the will we had to get over and
mm.
beat Brentford, and then we're going to go to fucking Villa Park and win. Like that. Like this. Let's just be in the reality of human beings for a second.
Well, to
That's
be
at the end
honest,
of.
We thought we were gonna win. We both predicted we'd win.
That's because we're Arsenal fans. But when we get, but I also said I predict we win, but we better have Saliba there, and I don't know what's Rice's availability, right?
Mm.
And I also said if Saliba's there, I'm not playing Rice because I have no idea what like. And Rice, by the way, was looking at Arteta like, "Are you going to sub me off?" Because I feel like that plays a big part when Rice isn't able to recover and do all the stuff he does because he's literally on 5%. Have you ever played FIFA and you heard that the green line it gets red, 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 red,
Yeah.
red, red? Rice was literally on like a maroon, like the color of our background here. That's what his color was by the end of that Villa game. That's why we're so exposed. Add that
Yep.
with the fact that our defense is missing our key defenders.
And I think that's
That's
why he's
why
getting
what you
rested
saw
as
is what you
well.
saw.
And that when you played like that, that's when you get the injuries.
But the Everton game for me, as we said, we got Bruges, we got this one, and even if we have to play both of our stars in that, you still don't have a midweek game. You have an entire week. But because we got this, it's almost like we've a self-imposed Dubai trip.
Yeah,
because
I wouldn't even start Saka for Bruges or anything. I'd start Madueke.
Now for Wolves, I'm going to put to play some of my important players because we have to make sure we actually fucking win that game because it's still Premier League, and we know what's on the line. We're cutting it close now with City.
Yeah.
So like if we play full strength against Wolves, I'm not complaining about it, and I just like let's go smash
just
them and
obliterate them.
Yeah, but I would want early subs. That's what I would want, though.
Yeah.
Right. But for this game tomorrow, I don't care if we lose. I don't care what the result is, as long as we don't get smashed. Like a draw tomorrow puts us still top of the table, clear by a point.
I don't mind if it'd be a problem if we lost for me.
If I get a draw tomorrow, we're still clear, and then
just rest the players.
We only need get
whatever.
a draw. I mean, and by the way, that thing we're not giving our squad depth enough credit.
Yeah.
Right. Because it is
anything, but to be honest, bro, I'm very hyper focused and laser focused on this league. And just by the way, we've kind of blissed my next topic, which was my next topic was is this a trend? Are we worried about Arsenal's form and injury list? And we've kind of spoken about the form and injury list inadvertently.
But we can still keep talking about it though.
I think we've covered pretty much everything we want. I actually wanted to get into another topic.
No, but it was just about I was just happy to bring that up to you because I've tried to explain that on other podcasts, and in the middle of doing that of getting people being like, like rolling around the thing and thinking I'm making excuses, but I'm just
it's just there's a reason these things are happening. It's a reason. We don't you can't tell us that we have, like the best center back pairing in world football. They're out because of injuries and complain when we mention it. It's just silly. I think so our next topic is something I'm kind of upset about, and I've been seeing it, and it's called this is the scapegoat section of the pod, where personally I've seen attacks on Gyökeres. This is by our own fan base, by the way. Attacks on Gyökeres, attacks on Zubimendi, attacks on Saka, attacks on Odegaard. It's just been ridiculous. I think there have been agendas against players at this football club, and they've been waiting to come out of the woodwork to say their piece on players that they don't like or they never wanted in the first place. And it's annoying. It's really, really, really annoying to me. I think one of the biggest ones that I've seen is Gyökeres is getting blamed for the loss, even though he didn't start the fucking game. And people are saying that, why isn't this guy, he's not doing what we need him to do, but we're not creating any fucking chances for him in the game. We're not trying to play him into the game. We're not trying to play him. We're not giving him the ball, and he's just standing there on an island. Obviously, what he does is he helps to create space and stuff, but we're not playing him into the game. Like, we have to play him into the game. We don't want Gyökeres dropping into the midfield. Moreno does that. It works sometimes, but it's not what we need, And I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
I also need Moreno in midfield now. The other part,
and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I also think we gave Havertz like an entire season to get into form. and we're trying to give Gyökeres a couple of games. And like if Gyökeres never got injured and he was still playing like this, I'd be concerned. But he got injured. He's come back from injury. He hasn't started a single football game. I think it's absolutely ridiculous what I'm hearing about Gyökeres right now.
Yeah, but the other thing that annoys me, Cal, and this is the overall, maybe this is the way people talk about strikers, and it's just because they built this guy up so much in their head, right? It's he hasn't made an impact unless he's scored. He didn't score, he didn't make an impact. And I'm like, that's wrong. There are 11 people on the pitch. Before I think you can agree with me on this. I know we had a goal rubbed off by Eze scored. But beyond that, with Moreno up front, did you think that Arsenal were scoring in the game at all?
In the first half, no. Not in the first half.
When
the first half,
when Gyökeres and Trossard come on, do you see a difference?
Yeah, of course. And what's weird, what's really weird? What's really weird about Moreno? It's like he drops into midfield. So we're overloading the midfield with the inverting left back and a striker that drops deep. But Aston Villa still at times just ran straight through our midfielders. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen,
It's also, you notice that like Martinelli, even when he was on the game at the start, right? He was poor. But one thing I can't blame him for is that when he's in good positions, Moreno's just not there. There's no one for him to pass the ball to. He's like, I'm just going to keep going forward. There's no one to cross the ball into. If he tries to cross the ball into the middle, he's just giving the ball away. So and same with Saka on the other side. Saka, but Saka's got more to his game than Martinelli. So Saka's going to try to cut inside, get himself a better angle, but then he gets dispossessed. Moreno is just nowhere to be seen. He's in the midfield. So we're actually playing with two up front, two wide guys, and there's no presence in the middle.
Yeah.
Odegaard was our presence in the middle. Odegaard was the one who's getting off shots from the middle in the first half. But there's no striker there. So you're playing with your three and no striker.
Yeah.
Oh, not Martinelli, by the way. Not Martinelli. Sorry, I should say it again. Eze.
In
the first half, not Martinelli. And Eze did, to his credit, score. He
didn't score.
He scored, but he was taken off. It was
that's not.
But he wasn't him who was offside. It was Saka who was offside.
Yeah, Saka was offside. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying, from Eze's with credit, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Saka was offside. He got himself in the right positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another scapegoat is Odegaard. I think Odegaard had a decent game. I think it's ridiculous to blame him for the loss. I think he is still coming. He's still trying to adjust to the league again. He's still adjusting back to playing regular football. This is the first game that he started, correct? Since he's been injured. He's been out for months. It's the first game he started.
I think he started.
Did he start against?
He started against Bournemouth.
Did he?
Brentford.
Did he start against Brentford?
He started Brentford. Yeah, but remember we were saying that's the first time that Zubimendi, Odegaard, and Rice were together. Yeah.
Okay. So he started against Brentford. So it's the second time he started.
And he did not start Chelsea. Chelsea, I think we started. Did he start? No, he didn't. We started as a.
You sure
he came off the bench? He came off the bench against Chelsea. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Right.
Well, and he's not even like 3 games in. And
we started as a Trossard, because Trossard comes off injured in the first half, right? Against Chelsea. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So Odegaard's been scapegoated, which is ridiculous. I think people are saying, as I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. People are saying Saka had a bad game. I think that's false. So I think we need to stop. We need to push back against these like horrendous narratives, blaming players for performances like this, pointing the finger, pouncing on our players just because you don't like them. I was one of the guys who was saying that I wanted to. I was highly critical of Odegaard last season. Highly critical. He got me infuriated. But I'm not gonna look at the last game and say that the reason we didn't win is because of him. I think that's ridiculous analysis. Do I wish that he, shot the ball better at times? Yes, but I don't think it's not just him. It's just
Mm,
not just him. And hopefully we can see that the buzz cut Odegaard again. Maybe he needs to shave his head again. So yeah,
maybe.
that's just anything else you wanted to add in terms of the scapegoat list that you wanted
um,
to address?
there's a. I think you basically got it covered, but I think I want to take it at a different angle because I just feel like people's expectations or the way people talk about people's roles in the team, I just feel are just wrong and are taken out of context. In terms of especially, so this is why Saliba and Gabriel are so important. I'm going to go back to this, right? And it doesn't even just affect your defense; it affects the platform in which your attackers. It's a knock-on effect. It's like a domino effect. So when there's no Saliba Gabriel, Rice and Zubimendi are having to play deeper. They're going to put any extra effort on the defensive side of the football pitch. They're just using effort that's not there. When you've got Felipe and Gabriel, all they need to do is clean up or try to intercept the ball in their zones in midfield. They cover their certain specific zones and then to picking the ball up. It's a much easier job to do rather than having to run all the way back, support your center back, right? Then when we're talking about the likes of Saka or Eze, right? Now, as you rightly mentioned, Eze is just not built for that part of the game. So he's doing something that he's never had to do in his entire career in terms of that part of the
Defending.
game, right?
Yeah.
But when you're defending, and when you're not used to defending, and you're not sure of the art of defending, and he's probably put in a bit of amount of focus and extra anxiety and be like, oh shit, I'm not used to being in this position. That confidence is usually in his game on the attacking side is obviously all of a sudden not there. If you've got, we've always talked about this with the addition of Eze when he was bought. Why are we buying Capier? Because I feel like in a perfect world, in Capier, as you can see, his tendencies are that again. I do feel like I was proven right on this. His tendencies, the way he cleared that, is that of a fullback, not of a center back, because he's literally taking the run the ball as a center back, and he's like, "How do I clear it down the sideline?" That's what a
Mm.
fullback does in that position. Although is the opposite side that he usually operates in. But that's why we bought in Capier, because we bought Eze in there, and we know Eze. We need to somehow account for the fact that this guy doesn't play this defensive role easily. You
Mm.
also got Calafiori in there, and when Calafiori is in there, you've also got Gabriel. So Calafiori is able to as well maraud up and down the pitch and provide him that support on that left hand side a lot more than he is having to do now. So everything kind of just like there's always like sort of this knock on effect. Odegaard is having to press a little bit more. Odegaard is expected a little bit more to be winning the 50-50s, which generally it's actually Rice who's doing it, but Rice is so far down the pitch that he can't win the 50-50s in those
Mm.
areas. So this is why people who are saying, oh, Odegaard going for 50-50, blah, blah, blah. That's not usually what he's doing in his position in the pitch in general, right?
Mm.
Then you've got Saka, who's also having to spend so much time on the back end and traveling all the way to try to now put in his effort now on the offensive side. And that is a fact that all comes into play with this added in that they were already all probably oranges on your FIFA health scale, all
Yeah.
most of them.
Mm.
And so the that is just a recipe for failure. And I don't know how much blame you can put on Arteta because of the fact that this was the tougher game. This was the Villa away game, and he couldn't make all those changes and rest and rotate in this game. Because then what's the narrative then? Arteta, what the fuck are you rotating for Villa away?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, what does the rotation look like? Like you obviously would be playing Odegaard because he was unfit before, and you're playing him into form. The only person you'd probably want to rotate is maybe Rice if he was going to rotate, and
But only Saliba's fit. Only
you're
Saliba's
not
fit,
gonna
as I've
rotate
said.
Rice yeah, it's just yeah, that was never gonna happen. And so yeah, I think that's the end of
I
that
think we're
topic.
again, as I said, we're
Yeah.
taking what everybody does out of context. We're taking Gyökeres out of context. Why isn't Gyökeres scored? Well, he changed the game. We all
Mm,
of a sudden had them on the press on the back foot. They had to count for his threat. By the way, the ball from Saka, Gyökeres literally takes the center back out of the play so that Trossard has the time to strike it to the back of the net. Like whatever you want to say about that, he makes a huge impact in that goal. He's selfless in being able to kind of take a defender out so that Trossard's not getting challenged.
mm,
Like there's so much that goes into it. As we said, we mentioned in our last pod, the Brentford game. He creates that space for Moreno to find Saka. And if Saka wanted to, he could have given it to him and he would have scored in that. So it's not always we're looking at it too black and white. Did he score? And that's why I go back to your Moreno point, and then we'll move on to the next thing. I've realized this. A green light flashed in my eyes this week, Cal,
mm.
when we were hearing rivals talk about this game and talk about Gyökeres. Our rival's favorite Arsenal player is Mikel Merino
Of course they are. Of course he is. Because they're not watching
because
the game. They're not
yeah.
watching the games. Well, to be honest
Well,
with you, it's like
why Marino scoring? He hasn't had problems scoring. Blah blah
I
blah.
think I think when you're watching, okay, when you're hate watching and you're watching us, the player that annoys you the most is the player that ruins your watch along. And because
Mm,
Moreno is scoring the goals, he's ruining the watch along for them. So it's like that's the best player. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you watch this guy and like I explained it before.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not the answer. He's just a quick fix.
Yeah, but look, also to end this on the scapegoating, right? Victor Gyökeres has definitely not performed to my expectation. I don't think he's performed to Cal's expectation. But
Guess
we
how much
have to
goals I predicted he'd have by the end of the season.
30 something, 20 something,
Gu-
30,
guess the number.
27,
This is in the league, just in the league.
27. I'm just gonna say, I don't know,
Nope,
30
nope. I predicted he'd have
higher.
35 goals in the league.
Oh, okay, that's look. That is about what did he have last year? So it's about what 33% decrease on his Portugal levels from last year. But look,
He was the top goal scorer by a country mile.
But see, look, this for me is the part that gives me hope. Where people see criticism, I see room for improvement. It's just different ways of looking at it. Well, I'd be more worried if we were doing everything perfect. If we were with all of our players were performing to their ultimate optimum levels and we're still losing games, everyone's healthy, we're up for optimum levels. There's nothing else. We've used exhausted all of our resources. There's no card left to play, and we're still losing games. Then I am worrying. But because I know we literally have got so many cards up our sleeves, I'm
Okay.
fine.
Hmm.
But look, of course, we made it harder than we needed to in terms of the race, and we'll get into that. You'll bring up the next topic, but obviously, but in terms of like Arsenal and if this form is going to maintain for the rest of the season, which is the original question, I don't see that.
Okay. Okay, what the next topic for this what's next segment is what is the expectation for the end of December and how do we make it through the fixture list moving forward? So a little bit of a prediction for the stretch. And how do you think we're gonna get on? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, I've already kind of said this. We'll just focus just on Arsenal. Forget about City or Liverpool, or not
Yep.
Liverpool. So forget about City for a second because I think maybe that
Yep.
they deserve their own time. But for Arsenal, we're talking about Champions League and Carabao Cup included,
Yeah.
or just
We
the
have
Prem?
9 more. Wait, no, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more games
All right,
in
so
December.
that's all comps, yeah.
Yep.
Um, for this game tomorrow, I have no fucking clue. I actually have no idea what the lineup is going to look like. I have no idea what Bruges is in terms of what they can. Like I saw the game against Barcelona for a little bit, so it's obviously a team that we shouldn't be taking lightly. And I wouldn't rotate the 11 fully. I would rotate the players that need a rest badly, more often than not, more than anything. But I don't even want to count tomorrow. Like for me in my head, it's like it could be anything. In terms of the Wolves game, I think it's going to be a loss. Nah, kidding. Win. Come on. We're beating Wolves. Let's not even mess about. I do this every week on my show, right? This is my Wolves match reaction. Wolves lost. Okay, we're moving on. Well, this is my Wolves preview. Wolves against X team. X team wins. Next topic. That's how I've been with Wolves this season. So why would it change my energy when it comes to my own team? Of course, we're winning that game. Then again, we have that 1 week break. I think for me, that bodes very, very well for us. I'm not saying we're smashing Everton. It's going to be a tough game. Everton are hard to play at home, but I think that we're going to have more energy and we have more to deep into the well. And I actually think that's going to be a win. A close win. It could be a 1-0, 2-1, something like that. But I see us winning that game. What's the next one? Carabao Cup game, Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. I want to win that game.
Yeah, I want to win that game.
We need to be getting into finals now. And this is the first opportunity. I do not want us crashing out last competition.
Actually, what do you think? Should I even ask you about Wolves? And no.
In terms of we could do it like that. Against Wolves.
We'll just do both.
Club Rouge tomorrow. Don't know, but I just want rotation. I want at least a draw. At least I'd be upset with a loss because losing 2 games in a row is not something I like. At all.
Yeah, agreed.
Arsenal versus Wolves, barbecue chicken. There's no way, no how. We should be dropping points to them. Not on this universe. If that happens, full blown panic stations for me.
Yeah, same. Especially then we're going to add in this drop points tomorrow and potentially as well.
DEFCON 2. That's it just can't happen. Everton versus Arsenal. I think that's at home, is it? Or is it away?
It's away.
Whether at home or away, we should be beating them, man. We should be beating them, but they've won 4 out of their last 5 games.
But you know as well, I noticed, by the way, for Everton, so everybody going, oh, you think Everton's going to be blah, blah, blah. I just saw Newcastle absolutely slap them in their own crib, right?
Yeah.
And I also have seen Tottenham beat them 3-0 at their own crib before this 4 out of 5 games, right? Yeah. So for Arsenal, the team who's been the best team in the league this year, for me to say that I don't believe that I think that we could beat Everton at their ground is not an insane thing to me to say. I think sometimes people are just thinking in this negative vibe because we've just lost a game. So all of a sudden the world, it looks darker. Yeah. That's where my viewpoint is different. I'm like, the world looks dark for me when, as you were talking about today on Mo's show, when you start seeing trends. For me, this Everton game is the trend game.
Yeah.
Prove to me that it's not a trend, these away performances. Prove to me that I was right about all the ingredients that led to those drop points that is different, that are not there for this one. And if that is the case, no trend here, my friend.
If we drop points, yeah. If
these next 2 games are key. These next 2 games.
If we drop points to that, I'm like, okay, our next 3 games in the league are Wolves, Everton, and Arsenal. Brighton, sorry. Wolves, Everton, and Brighton are next 3 home games. I mean, our next 3 games, 2 at home, Wolves at home, and Brighton at home. I'm sorry. We have to win those 3 games, bro. We just do. Yeah. Because after those games, and that's just after those games, we play Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Liverpool.
The one thing I don't like about this last Villa game, because I've thought about it the last day, because I have been talking about revenge, and generally I think in most sports, when you play the same team twice within a 2-3 weeks period, generally the team that loses the first one comes back to win the second one, especially when it's an away and then you take them to
Yeah.
your ground and win, right? Because
Yeah.
generally, because it's so fresh in the memory, and you could also go back onto the tape, which is
Yeah.
recent. Generally,
Yeah.
the players playing in the game are going to be similar. Although I
Mm-hmm.
hope we're more healthy for this one.
Mm.
Um, the only issue I have here is our record on New Year's Eve is fucking awful, and I've got New Year's Eve PTSD with Arsenal. Um, and the other part is it's the short week. So you got what's the lineup against Brighton, and then like so I see in that what we got Palace in the cup because I
Yeah.
think we're going to be playing strong in that one. I think you got to.
I think we play a game every 3 days after since
Yeah.
Everton. So
Then you
Everton's on the
got
21st. Then we have Crystal Palace on the 24th. Then we
yeah.
have Brighton on the 28th, and then we have Aston Villa on the 31st.
So this is where we get back into that troubling trend because I
Yeah.
think what you said MHF is right. You have to look at the trends. So
Yeah.
this is a trend. This is a trend spot for Arsenal, right? And I think we'll go even further to the Bournemouth game, right? Because look at the
Mm,
Bournemouth game, which is on the 4th,
mm,
away, right?
mm,
So let's say I reckon I don't know what that Crystal Palace game looks like, but in the Prem,
mm,
you go all out to beat Brighton, you go all out to beat Villa. Let's see if that happens, right? The
mm,
Bournemouth game is the one I think we drop points in.
mm.
Bournemouth away, because that's the end. The tank has emptied out. We would have had a Carabao Cup quarters. We would have Brighton at home, Villa at home, and then you got Bournemouth away. That's like that's the end of that. And you got Liverpool right up after that, right? So Arsenal are going
I don't
to
want
have
to.
to make some sort
I
of.
don't. I think we have to. I think we have to win that game
I know, but can you see
because I have
that
a feeling
one?
that I feel like City's gonna go on a run.
Look, we can talk about City later. I think, by the way, that game we play Bournemouth, City play Chelsea. So
All these Chelsea's gonna fold.
look, let's see. But for me, I'm saying that one is the one I'm flagging because of
Yeah, of the trend of being after a couple of after a couple of tough games, a decent fixture, we drop points because of that type
yeah,
shit. That's what you're saying.
yeah,
To be yeah, okay, fair enough. But like I just want us to kind of win games we're not supposed to win to create more of a buffer zone.
yeah. No,
That's
of
my
course.
thing.
I thought I want us to win every single game.
Yeah, but I
But
want us
this
to
is ridiculous, by
have
the way.
a bit
We
of a
have
buffer zone.
Liverpool on the 9th, and on the 11th, we've got Portsmouth in the FA Cup.
It's Portsmouth.
Yeah, we can fully rotate, but is that the real date for the FA Cup, or has Google just put in a random time here? Because that can't be right.
In
You
terms
have
of what
one day of
that's
rest.
no, it's ninth,
What is it?
one day of rest, and then yeah, the 10th and then the 11th. Yeah, that's a bit mad. But like, yeah,
Well,
that's a bit
we
obviously
fully
going.
rotate. That's
Yeah,
11 changes for me.
yeah. And then I think they do that because we have like a 7 days
Hang
after
on.
that until Forest.
Yeah. By the way,
And by
actually,
the way, just looking very
yeah.
far ahead, like way too far ahead, our run, our last like 4 games to close off the season is like even if we're behind, there's a good chance that we like that we could do something because look at we play
Now you're seeing
Fulham at
you're
home,
seeing the league like
West
I
Ham
see it.
away, Burnley, and then Crystal Palace
Now
away. Like
you're
our
seeing
last
you're
four
seeing the
games.
league how I see it, Cal. I look
Mm,
at the whole thing.
yeah,
This is why
but
when people go,
that's
this
getting way
player
too
is
far
better
ahead.
than this player based off 15 games. I'm like, well,
That's-
you haven't taken into account the other games that we have yet to play that the narrative can change. You
Yeah.
haven't taken into account how oh, at this point, like people were telling me, for instance, people saying that, but big up to Villa for beating us both in City. Credit to them for the way they performed against us, but they're not in a title race. They played the easiest schedule. Well, before our game, it was the easiest schedule in the Premier League to that date, which means the rest of their schedule is the hardest. Coming up for them, they have in the last 4 games before we hit for the end of the year, they've got Man United, Chelsea, and then us again out of their 4 games.
Oh, really? They're not winning those 4 games. There's no way that they beat all three of
So,
us.
so they've had
If they
that.
beat if they all three of us again, they're actually in the title race.
So right when we're 15 games in out of 19, out of all
Yeah.
19 opponents, and you've had the the easiest schedule for the first 15. What happens in the last four, Cal?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a fucking storm. By the way, go back one more game where they just played us. They ticked off the first Arsenal win for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being 4 out of their last 5 games be against Big Six.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Everything is into context. Like they might be 3 points clear. Now Chelsea were 3 points behind potentially at one point. Where are they now?
Okay. Just to wrap up this segment, wrap this segment up. Going into January, what would be our points difference between us and whoever were in the title race with us? And where do you see us being?
I'm going to stick to this. I've said this all week. 5 or 7. I'm going to say 7.
7 points?
Let's pull up Man City's fixtures now.
You know we don't...
Pull them up. 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 Finally, okay, we're gonna look. You could disagree with me all you want on this,
but we don't even have that many games, like league games. Okay, Man City play Crystal Palace. They play
at Selhurst Park.
West Ham at home.
Okay, that'll be a win. I have them beating West Ham.
They play Nottingham Forest away.
I'll have them beating that one too.
So then, how would we get?
Wait. I have them drawing this weekend against Crystal Palace away. That's hard.
That's 2 points.
Liverpool lost there.
Yeah.
Right? Is that not a fair? They could easily win that game too.
No. Let's do your math. Okay.
Right.
Okay. You said so. They get.
I'm not predicting defeat. I'm predicting just draws.
You think they get 1 point against Palace? You think they beat West Ham? Yep. Yeah. And then against Forest.
Against Forest, they win as well.
So you think they're going to get 7
match
points?
Week 19. Hit match week 19.
I'm just looking at this fixture list before January.
All right, but I know, but they play on they play on New Year's Day, so that's why it gets confusing. New Year's Day in their time. So I would include January the 1st in this because that way we're all equal amount of games.
Okay, so okay.
New Year's Day, where they go to, where we
Sunderland. So you think they're going to draw against Sunderland?
I think they draw against Sunderland as well, and it's a night game in Sunderland where they have done very, very well.
You think?
You see the way their crowd gets up for those.
Yeah. Okay. You think they get 8 points. So against for the next 4 games, you think they get 8 points, right? So for Arsenal, what are you predicting?
12 points out of 12.
So you're expecting us.
By the way, I'm not. I'm looking at
6 points ahead of them.
Liverpool when they went to Crystal Palace were perfect in the season in all comps. That was the first crack. Palace beat them.
How could you? I'm not even saying that they're 12 points. You just said against Aston Villa that we could drop points again because.
No, I said Bournemouth.
Bournemouth is the 4th of Jan.
Right. But I'm saying that we could. Okay. All right. Fine. Maybe I'll predict a draw at home against Villa. We're happy with that?
But if we do that, that means
that'll be 5.
Would it be 5? So that's.
I said a 5 or
9.
7. It depends from like.
It'll be 4 points. We'd be 4 points ahead of them.
I think there's one variable that I'm going to get off. I think for each team, so I think it's going to be 5. So either they win one of the Palace or the Sunderland game, or we draw the Villa game, which I think we'll win. So at some point, I think one of those things is going to be wrong. So I think maybe instead of 7, I'll say it's 5.
5?
Which is what
I think we're probably just 2 points ahead of them again.
Do you think we both go perfect?
No, I think we both drop points.
Okay.
Don't know where. Not against Wolves, but against someone.
All right. Well, you haven't gone through it. So Everton, what do you think against Everton? What do you think? Not what we should. What do you think?
I think I think we beat Everton.
Brighton.
I think we drop points to Brighton and we beat Aston Villa.
Okay. Do you think that we dropped the point? What's your premise behind the Brighton? Because you think we're going to go strong against Palace?
Not only that, I just with our injury list, I'm not predicting perfection.
This is the one thing I think we need to take into account. I want to actually pull up Arteta's press conference and the injury report. Actually, AFTV gave a good injury report because it also had like, based off of that, with what he was saying, they wrote like a timeline. Does AFTV have their own website? I was seeing this. They have it on their website. It was they basically just they took the Arteta press conference and they did an injury report based off of it.
Yep. When is Gabriel expected to come back?
So yeah, apparently Gabriel's tracking early, that he could be back in late December. That's what I was reading somewhere today.
Every time a player is tracking early, it means just add 2 weeks. So mid-Jan.
Well, that's probably more realistic. And they also part about we thought that Saliba was a couple of days away and Saliba didn't show up against Villa. That's what that kicked me off.
Is he sure he's not showing up against Club Brugge?
He's not showing up against, but for me, that's smart. Like I'm not risking Rice. I'm not risking Saliba. Give him. Why make Saliba travel?
Oh no! Like it's the right thing. It's just that people thought he was going to be back 2 games ago, and he's still not here. Yeah. So I'm just going to add 2 weeks to whatever the.
By the way, Calafiori is going to be suspended for Wolves. So just play Calafiori in centre back and play Lewis Skelly. That's what I would do, because I'm not doing this even tomorrow. I'm not doing this Timber and Capier thing. I need to have Calafiori. I don't know whether that's right or left side centre back. I just think he's a bigger body in there. Or just swap White and Timber.
I think playing. I wouldn't mind seeing Capier Timber again.
Yeah,
mainly because
this is the part
mainly to get the partnership.
This is the part where we crumbled on. I don't know if you agree with me on this, right? That last sequence, when you saw Calafiori come off and Skelly come on, I was like, "Oh, we're fucked."
Skelly does not fill me with any confidence.
That Villa game, that was Arteta's change to try to become more energized offensively. Calafiori is the one piece that was keeping that shit together in that back four against Villa. One of the reasons why. By the way, Calafiori's. I think he had a bad moment in that first goal, because I'm like, where are you, bro? Right? Like, we're talking about Eze, but I'm like, why isn't Calafiori in this picture right now? Why isn't he protecting the back post? Right? So that he had a bad moment. But for the rest of that game, I thought Calafiori was the thing keeping that defense together.
Well,
and the minute he switched that for Skelly, you lost it.
I think we never really we barely ever had it, to be honest with you.
There were times in that period where we were pushing, where we had chances. That's how I would call it the third quarter of the game. I would call it, yeah, which was our best period. Villa were pretty kept quiet on the attacking part.
Yeah, because we know Calafiori's strength is that he's helps us to progress the ball, and stuff like that. But in terms of defensively, I think it was kind of a little bit of barbecue chicken for them.
It was a little bit, but
yeah.
But anyway, he has to play tomorrow. You're not going to see him against Wolves.
Yeah, he's going to play tomorrow. Yep. Yeah. And I think, just to wrap up the pod, I think we'll just talk briefly on the last segment here that I wanted to mention. After we you lose, it's always the best.
So you think we're beating Villa?
Analyzing.
Huh? You think, just before you get to that, we're beating Villa and as revenge?
Yeah, we're probably going to.
Do you have that? Okay.
I think the players are going to be very upset, fired up. But we'll see. But I think we should be beating them. Yep. Just on the after we lose a game, we always start talking about the squad, what we need, and I just wanted to do a quick discussion on what do you think we need in the January transfer window, and who do you think we're going to get, if we get anyone?
The last time we had this discussion, I said I don't think we're going to get anybody. But given our injury issues right now, I think we have to maybe assess where we're at on that front by the time we get to January. But we're missing, I think, maybe one or two players short that we could use in some of these periods. Now, maybe we could actually, I'm thinking about it weirdly enough. We have three pure center backs. Now I know all four of the guys that they played yesterday can all play center back, can play it.
No, please, please don't say it. No,
I don't know. I feel,
no.
and maybe we need a DM or something like that as well because I don't have
Oh,
anybody like
well, 100%. Okay,
to protect that Rice worst case scenario. That thing,
okay.
like
I'm
we
gonna tell you
can't
what we
let
need.
that linger and be like we gonna fucking ignore that.
I'm gonna tell you what we need and what we are probably gonna address. What we need right now, we need a left wing. We just do. I love Trossard, but I wish he was, 10 years
We
younger.
do.
If he was 10 years younger playing like this, oh God, you know. But we just do. Eze isn't the answer on that left wing. Maybe I'm writing him off a bit early, but he just doesn't look like it in terms of his skill set.
I still feel
Um,
like he needs to play. He's only played 45 minutes there and then 45 minutes there again, and like he's not even able to
I
play
just,
an
it's
entire.
like I don't think you can teach
Listen,
that defensive awareness, bro. I don't think you teach
yeah.
that
Do
shit.
you think that's why he gets pulled off because of the
Not only
defensive?
that, it's the walking back, bro.
Can I ask you
Like
a question?
he just walks back.
Can I ask you a
Oh,
question? Just
let me before hold
yeah.
that question. I just want to finish the things that we need first.
All right. Yeah.
So we need we need a left wing. I think we need a DM. Because Norgard, he's just never playing Norgard. Norgard isn't the guy. After I watched that Brighton game, people said I was harsh on Norgard because we played Brighton in the last phase of the Carabao, and it was horrible. I know we won 2-0, but Norgard just didn't control the game. And since that game, I don't think Arteta's played him since. Even though Zubimendi probably needs a rest, he still doesn't play him. So no, we need a DM that Arteta actually trusts. We also need an 8 to
One or
um
the other.
th- like a
I feel like you don't
like
need
a
both.
box crasher
I
like
feel like you
Rice.
don't need both because if you have a healthy Havertz and a healthy
I'm
Jesus and a
just
healthy
saying the
Gyökeres,
roles.
Marino
I'm
is
just
one of
saying
them,
I'm just saying the
right?
roles. But the
Yeah.
chances of having a deep lying playmaker that also box crashes and wins the ball back in
Can't buy
duels,
them in January.
that's like how many of those players exist?
Mm.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Let alone
You
in
probably
January.
yeah, and that's $100 million player, by the way. That
Right. Yeah.
the
Right.
that profile.
That's Declan
Um,
Rice.
yeah. Um,
And Moises Caicedo. Well, I don't know. Like,
yeah. Yeah, but even they aren't deep lying playmakers.
yeah.
That's literally I just described freaking Rodri, you know.
Yeah.
Like Rodri's probably the only person that could actually do that in one
Well,
role.
City did that last year. They got Nico Gonzalez.
And how did that work out for them?
Yeah. I mean, you just didn't. You can't read. It's
They're thinking
hard.
about selling Nico Gonzalez in January, bro. Like he's on the
Mm,
chopping block. But
yeah.
anyway, I think those are the three roles. And I think you can tell by our links because we're linked to that dude that I can't pronounce his name, that young kid who's 17. Um, you know what I'm talking about? I
The
sent you the
French
link
guy
for
from the French team.
yeah,
Did he
yeah.
just sign a new contract?
He did. He did sign a new contract because he's an idiot. Um,
Yeah.
and
By the way, what fucking agent is advising him? Like, if he wants to leave, and then you're like, what? We're gonna sign a new contract.
agents want guaranteed money.
Do,
They're
do you
going to
know?
tell
Do you know what?
they're gonna
Do
tell
you know
it's a
what
kid.
this is? Do you know what this is, Cal?
Chibodi.
This is the you know that thing that they did with Gyökeres, where they're like, oh, gentleman's agreement.
Yeah,
I feel like it's one of those things where, by the way, I think these players fall into this trap all the time. It's
yeah,
like, we're going to sell you, but we want a gentleman's agreement that it's going to be for this amount. So sign this
yeah,
contract so we
yeah,
can benefit and you can benefit.
yeah,
And
yeah,
generally it's bullshit.
yeah, yeah. He's just being ill-advised.
Yeah.
But it's not our problem. He's not the only guy. But the fact that we're looking at players like him, says a lot. I think we keep getting linked to Yildiz, and yeah, um, uh,
Alt Theory 777. Oh, did you just take it off?
alt the 777 says, Should get the 300K a week's contract. We can't be emotional here. His output isn't.
Enough to get the most salary.
I
Okay,
think you're.
I think you're looking at this from the wrong direction. And I understand completely your contention and what you're saying, but this is how a structure works at a big club in terms of finances. Us to be able to construct other deals. Currently, at the moment, Kai Havertz is earning the most at Arsenal Football Club.
Havertz
So
is on 390 a week.
would you say that Kai Havertz output is enough to get him the most salary at the club? Bukayo Saka is that, whether you think about his output or not, is the talisman of Arsenal Football Club. If Bukayo Saka is your most highest paid player, other players who are coming into the team or other players in the team right now who are asking for new salaries, they're not going to say, "Oh, I want to have more than Saka." Oh, I think, why is Saka our highest earner? I should earn more than Saka. Right now, the structure of the club is screwed up because when players come in, and this is one of the reasons, like for instance, when we try to buy Rodrigo, he goes, "I want to be your highest earner," because he sees Kai Havertz as your highest earner at 290 and goes, "Well, fuck, if he's 290, I'm 300, I'm
I mean,
350." So if you see Saka's at 300, Arsenal go, "Well, Saka's our talisman. He's only earning 300." So it's actually only a 10,000 K extra than your highest earner now, but it makes a difference in terms of how we structure incomings and their contracts and contract renewals. It creates a limit because people are not going to ask to get paid more than Saka.
And Saka, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Saka has been carrying our offense season after season after season, way too much, to not deserve that
Also,
300K
if
a
you
week
don't pay
contract.
him, he gets upset. He goes somewhere else.
Yeah,
That
well,
just
like
happens.
that just aside, I think I'm going on the point of his output is not enough to get the most salary at the
Yeah.
club. If Saka doesn't deserve 300K a week at Arsenal, no one does.
Mm.
No one does. Because you pay more for attackers. Attackers own, like, they earn the most at the club. There's a reason why we were very upset, and we wanted more attackers at the football club because of Saka getting triple, quadruple teamed. We also saw the images with PSG with almost their entire squad trying to close down on Saka. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm not having that. I think he's suffered like an extremely insane hamstring injury. And he suffered another hamstring after that. So,
Yeah.
and he's not like he's still not 100% there yet.
I
But
also, by the way, think
he's still been our best attacker this season, by the
I
way.
also think, by the way, when you see Madueke come on the pitch, you can tell a stark difference.
Yeah. Like,
Like the
look at
way
the Aston Villa
Madueke
game.
strikes out to the side, he is
Yeah.
so not showing you any reading of
Decision
the game
making. It's the
whatsoever. He
decision
literally
making.
just hits it the ball through. The ball comes to him, he hits the ball through, hits side netting. He's got a striker wearing number 14, literally wide open, riding alongside him. All he has to do is tap that bad boy to the side, and you get yourself a nice looking shot from Victor Gyökeres. Now, at that point, if Gyökeres gets the ball, if Martinez gets saves from Gyökeres, whatever, we're having a different discussion. But
Yeah.
Saka at least would have squared it from that position. I know he didn't do it in the previous game, but that's because he's going on one with the keeper. Here, you're moving away to the side, the balls come to you.
Yeah.
Saka would have just squared that thing. It's decision making. Like I don't
Everyone,
trust another winger in
yeah.
our team to do the
Yeah.
same shit. I
Yeah,
just
and
don't.
everyone misses one-on-ones at time. I'm not gonna slate him for missing a one-on-one at times. It's just like I just saw Haaland miss a one-on-one, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna slate him for that. And yeah, he's been like by far one of our best attackers for the past 3 years. He's carried our attack for the last 3 years, man. So yeah, he definitely, most definitely deserves it. I can't think of how many right wingers in the league are objectively better than him. Mohamed Salah.
Well, Mohamed Salah is probably not going to be in the league in a couple of weeks. So,
But I mean, that's a cool kind, another kind of worms. But in terms of in the league right now, Mohamed Salah plays on the right, a right winger.
yeah,
That's about it, to be honest. So yeah, he deserves that 300K.
mm-hmm.
for that January transfer stuff, um, you know, left winger, a central midfielder, whether it be a DM or someone to cover um
Yeah,
for Rice, and I think those are the main two positions for me,
yeah. I think for me,
honestly.
like when it comes to the January window, I generally have very low expectations.
Of
I
course,
know that what's available there is like it's not a premium player in general.
yeah,
Um, so that's what like for me, the premium player of this window is actually I feel like are more available actually out on the left or on the right. So one thing I'm thinking about, and we were talking about Mo Salah for a second. Liverpool have been the favorites to get Mo. I've been talking about this as well, I think, in the last couple of pods. That's it. That's the name of the guy, isn't it?
oh yeah, Boyadi, yeah, that's
Yeah. I think that's
Budadi,
possible. Yeah. If we got Buyadi and let's say a Yildiz and
Budadi.
Semendo, I mean, I think our squad would be freaking
What,
stacked.
all three? You expect all three?
No. One of Yildiz or Semenyo.
Oh,
So this is I was going to get to the Semenyo point in a second, right? I've been thinking more and more and more, seeing our issues down the left, that maybe it does make sense for us to invest in Semenyo. But I'm also thinking this, that Liverpool, it seems like if they're having issues with Salah, right? And Salah might go, they're going to get money with Salah. I think they buy Semenyo, and all of a sudden they've got a new attacking core of Verts, Isak, Semenyo, Ekatike, and he fits them like a glove, and he can go. And I think that's an attractive spot in terms of replacing Salah. And I think he can kind of be more of the man there a little bit to kind of share that with Isak and Akatike. But I feel like we're going to have some competition for that. Now, what I would love to do though is actually buy him. So they've now never been screwed because we've actually gone in, we've taken Semenya because we're actually his preference, and we actually need him. So let's see how that unfolds. His
I would
parents were at the
prefer,
game last week.
call me
I
crazy,
yeah,
call me crazy. I'll take Yildiz over him.
I know. I knew you would say that, but maybe a little bit. We have to take a look at some of the adjustment periods of some of these teams these players coming in from the league, like from other leagues. Like even look at Gyökeres right now. Like he's having to adjust
I
playing in.
mean,
Look at
to be honest,
Hurts.
he's gonna be like he's not gonna be any worse than what we're seeing on that left hand side. He's just not.
By the
And
way, I think
I
Trossard has been very good. So I think we
yes,
don't want to
yeah,
discredit Trossard.
yeah. No, I'm thinking about the few. I'm thinking about like long term as well, like for the Yildiz stuff. I think players
Yeah.
like that don't become available very often.
Well, that's one thing you could do with a yield is right is buy him, take the pressure off him completely. You still got Trossard in the building, win
Yeah,
yourself a title, and then having
yeah,
a 6 months of experience in the Premier League, he's not coming
mm,
into next season raw.
yeah,
So that there is that way of looking at it.
yeah.
Not saying
And
that
by the way,
Yildiz sits on the bench for the
yeah,
whole time. He will
yeah,
play games,
yeah,
but you still got Trossard to lean on in games that you need that
yeah.
experience, that Premier experience.
Yep. And also, I'll say this as well. What impresses me with Yildiz the most is he reminds me of Saka in terms of decision making. Decision making.
Mm,
That's the thing. That's why Doku looks a lot better this season for Man City. He could have always beat his man, always. But it's, doing too much, not putting in the balls where they need to be, that sort
mm,
of stuff. Decision making this season has improved tremendously, and he just looks like people think he's a different player now. It's like no, he always had the ability to beat his man and be really really good. It was just decision making, and
mm.
that's the thing with Madueke right now. Madueke's decision making is letting him down right now for Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree. Conspiracy
Conspiracy
theory.
theory: Lindelof is
Well, sorry.
Pep's.
When the dog is Pep's mole. So you
That's
think that Man City put a chip, a bug inside of When the dog, let's say his collar, right? Right, and they've brought Win the dog. Somehow they got a dog on sale for Arsenal to then buy, which by the way is very uncharacteristic of any football club to buy a dog. So
Why
I
are
didn't
you
know that.
taking this comment so
I know.
seriously?
I'm just having fun. I've had a tough week. I'm just gonna have some fun. Um, so I'm just trying to piece it all together. So Man City had the foresight to know that Arsenal wanted to buy a dog. Maybe
Yeah,
Arteta
yeah, that's the
told,
first. That's step one.
maybe Arteta told Pep when he was at Man City. He's like, you know what? You don't think it's a really good idea? A club dog. And maybe Pep's like, man, this guy's going to buy a dog. So how about I help him? I'll put a trip in him.
Yeah.
But my
Well,
question is though, if he can, if he's the mole and we can hear all of our tactics, then why have we beaten them multiple times?
why did he lose 5-1? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting one
Interesting,
though.
interesting. You know what? Thank you for that
Dude,
comment.
his name is Alternate Theory, so that is an alternate
Yeah, true
theory.
to the name. True to the
Yeah,
name. Love
man.
it.
Yeah, he's bringing the goods.
I
Appreciate the
love it.
comments, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you think we get anyone in Jan? Like legitimately, do you think this is going to be the
Oh,
third? By the way, if we don't get anyone in Jan, this would be the third January on the bounce that we sign no one.
I don't know, Cal. I
I
hate to
don't
tell
think
you this.
that's ever happened in the club's history.
I hate to tell you this, dude, but I don't think we're buying anybody in January.
I think we're
I've
buying.
watched this. I've watched this football club for too long.
I
Now I don't
think
want to see. The only thing I think is it's an Andrea Berta now. Like
I'm gonna say this. The reason we didn't get anyone last January is because we were waiting for Berta. It made sense.
yeah,
We wrapped up the Zubimendi stuff. Um,
I love this.
but
You
yeah,
finish
we
your
wrapped
point.
up. Yeah,
Finish your
yeah,
point.
we wrapped up the Zubimendi stuff, and they were not willing to commit to any person without an actual strategy in place. That's where Berta's come in. That's why we got that new scout guy. Do you remember his name? The new scout
Oh
that we
yeah, the
got.
Italian guy.
Yeah, so we're strategizing, we're refocusing. I think we get at least one player in Jan.
Hmm.
Alt says when the dog will take over as
Can you
mascot,
read
which
this
will
with a
send
straight
the
face?
Gunnosaurus in a fit rage, and then Gunnosaurus leaks all of our tactical information to rivals. uh,
I don't even know what to say to that, bro.
Gunnosaurus, eh?
Man,
The,
what a
the traitor
useless
among
mascot.
us.
Do you know? Do you want to hear a funny story about Gunnosaurus? During COVID, because obviously we weren't getting match day revenue, they actually could no longer afford to pay Gunnosaurus. So
What?
Mesut Ozil paid Gunnosaurus salary to keep him at the club.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow, I have more respect for Ozil now. Like more respect.
yeah.
He's a good guy. People always made it out like he was a really bad person. I felt like people like
A
people just said he was lazy. You know what I mean?
little bit.
I
You know what's so funny
got a
though?
bad rep.
I got a little bit of the Ozil vibes with everybody talking about Odegaard this week. Like, oh, he never makes the challenges. What used? I'm like, first of all, that's not true. Like, Odegaard is an elite presser.
Yeah.
Like, also, we're rewriting the book on Martin Odegaard. I don't like that. I do agree he that he was at fault and that he should have absolutely gone in and put more effort into those moments. Gunnosaurus was fired for his anti-asteroid stance.
No, I don't even understand what that means.
I don't know why the football club even cares about asteroids.
um, what were you saying?
Um, what was I saying?
Oh yeah, it's not Odegaard's fault. And the thing is, it's like Odegaard isn't that the type of player that just wins the ball back. Like, how many times have you seen freaking Cherky win the ball back in the midfield? How many times
No,
have you seen freaking Phil Foden win the ball back? How many times has Wirtz win the ball back?
this
They're not those
this is the
types of
part that
players.
ticks me off about. By the way, I love you. I love Negative Danny's been a guest on this show, but he's one of my brothers, man. But his in Zubimendi
He has a
agenda
bad
is
Zubimendi agenda, a
crazy
bad
because
one.
you're talking about people who win the ball back. If for me, it's always Zubimendi.
Zubimendi somehow wins the ball back when he shouldn't.
Zubimendi is always the one winning the ball back and winning the ball back high, getting us second chances when we like resetting the team and getting the ball. Like, I don't say, I don't, I would love to sit down and obviously we couldn't do it on a podcast because you got an audience with Dan and be like, what did you think Zubimendi was? Because he's a defensive midfielder. What does a defensive midfielder do? Like, he's not
I,
been
I did
Zubimeist. He's never been. It's not what he is. He's not a maestro.
He
He's a
is a bit of
pace
a
setter.
maestro.
No, but
Yeah,
he's a
well,
pace setter, which
it's
means
not a maestro. I guess he's not gonna drop the shoulder and dribble past players. That's not his role.
right. He's not Luka Modric. I think people are
Yeah,
thinking he's Luka Modric.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe that comes from the fact that Real Madrid tried to buy him to replace Luka Modric, but I don't think that's a good comp.
He wasn't bought to replace Luka Modric. I think he was
No,
bought
but
to
that's
replace
why. No, that's what the reports were saying. That they
Nah,
had
he was bought to replace this guy the guy that retired
Cruz.
yeah, Cruz.
Cruz has been already retired for a while,
Cruz was only retired
or
for
last season. So it's been a little bit.
he was there for the last Champions League win.
The thing is, I don't know why they need to replace Cruz. They've got
Cruz Cruz
Valverde.
Cruz because Cruz is a more of a dictator of play.
Yeah. The thing is, they got Valverde. They got Chouameni. They've got
True, man, he can't dictate play.
No. But I'm just saying, like,
I'm
in
talking
terms of
about the
quality,
dictating. They have good players, but in terms of dictating play, taking control of that midfield, like freaking Chomeni can't do that. Camavinga
By
can't
the
do
way,
that.
another player that I can't believe I didn't bring up that I think Arsenal could still might go after in January, and obviously he was the man
Adam
last
Morton.
year. No,
I'm
Rodrigo.
just looking. Rodrigo
I've been
is
a lot of
washed.
reports talking about Rodrigo, and I think
Rodrigo
he
is
comes into Arsenal and he's a different player.
he's a good player, but I mean, I feel like his lack of mentality bothers me. It bothers me. The fact that he
I
just
still
kind of
think there's a
the
potential.
fact that he just kind of stood there and like he's letting a teenager take his place. Like that bothers me. If we get him for cheap, I mean, if we get him in Jan, I'm not gonna say no.
His value would have to be dropping. If
Yeah,
they're Real Madrid thinking they're getting the money
yeah.
they offer
Like if we
us on
pay,
this number,
like if we pay like 60 million, and I pay 60 million for him max.
Mm. But see, that was different when we were trying to free up like 100 million last time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I think 60 million. Put him on 200K, and then let's see how we go from there.
Yeah. But I do think it's a possibility he goes in there. I think another thing, I'm just thinking about that Real Madrid team, right? We're just talking about some of those the riches they have in terms of midfield depth, right? If I'm a guy like a Chouameni, I'm not playing enough football games.
Chouameni's playing most of his football games at centre back, bro.
Right. Right.
If he was technical enough,
they're holding on to the play at Madrid.
Yeah. If he was technical enough, at least in their mind, to be a proper midfielder at Real Madrid, he will not be playing centre back there. Like, I'm sorry. They don't respect him. He's probably not that good. Camavinga, it's kind of injured. I thought Camavinga has a really nice touch, drop of the shoulder at times. He's a nice 8 player, but he just hasn't shown his potential yet.
But you're comparing these players now. Remember, we're putting them in our squad. Norgard or Chouameni?
Obviously, Chouameni.
Norgard or Camavinga?
Yeah, you're not. You know, I'm saying, yeah, you're right. But those players aren't leaving Madrid to be squad players.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, for me, if I'm scouring the market and I'm looking at a market opportunity where I'm like, where can I attack some guy's ego, where he's sitting in a place right now where he's,
I feel like we need to be. I feel like our next approach is going to be picking up, and I feel like this is very Arsenal. Like we need to start picking up some of these young talents. I'm putting them into.
Well, isn't Badoudi Buadi? Isn't he one of those?
Yeah. I think he is.
So that'd be a good signing.
I think that's I like that signing. I think that's the Arsenal way. That's how, like when I look back at those old teams and like the winning teams, it's like it's kind of like what we do, and we kind of miss that. I feel like we need to I don't know, man. It just feels very Arsenal to pick up like a French talent or something, and he just kind of explodes in our team. And that's what the scouting team should be doing. Like, I don't think we need in this January transfer window to spend $100 million on Semenyo to win the league. We don't.
No. I said that. I said we can win the league without Semenyo.
Yeah, I'm saying we don't need much. I think we just need to make smart decisions. You know,
it's so funny though. When you say we can win the league without Semenyo, it's totally okay. But when I say we're winning the league at Semenyo, it's fucking arrogant.
I don't think
Like how would that make sense for me to say I think we're the best squad in the league, and then say we need Semenyo to win the league? That means I'm saying that we don't have the best squad in the league.
yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. But I think I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all the
Yeah,
topics I
that's
wanted to
it.
talk about today. Did you have anything to add before you wrap up?
Yeah, I will add, and I think this is off. I think we need to send a message to the fans, right? Because obviously this has been a tough week. Obviously,
And
but
just like and
as you
subscribe,
know,
guys. Remember that.
yeah, firstly, yeah, hit the like button, guys. And I mean, what are our numbers today? We've had 42 viewers today overall. 3 likes. All right, guys. Yeah. Hit the like button. How many people we have in the room right now? We got 5 of you guys. And only 3 likes. Okay. Guys, somebody here has not hit the like button. So go ahead and do that.
someone here has an 11.
All
But yeah, continue.
777, my bro. I've read all your conspiracy theories live on the air. If you could just repay me with a like, that was very, very much appreciated. Um,
Yeah.
um, yeah, guys. Yeah, also subscribe to CalGunner TV, guys. Cal, I'm wanting to see. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to see some content.
Oh, dude, like I was gonna make content and then we lost. I was like, I'm not gonna
Dude,
open
you
this up.
gotta do that. You're on a roll. You've been on MHF. I saw you were on the terrace with me right after
Yeah,
the game, bro. You're getting back in your stride. Let's get some. Let's get the
yeah.
people what they want. Thanks, my friend Cal. Is it
Oh,
Nate?
hey, bro, you're really, yeah. You've always showed us love and support. Thanks, bro. One of the OGs.
Yeah, yeah. You are the OG. That's
Yeah,
the
he's
he is
definitely
the
getting on
OG.
the community.
And David,
We
but
so yeah.
um,
Uh,
but what I would say now, after we get all the the business out of the way, it's gonna be okay. All right, we I still feel confident about this team. Now I think it's also okay as well to have that PTSD. I think it's normal. Don't let anybody tell you how to feel. I think everyone's feelings here are valid, but let's not let that take away from what this team has been achieving. I still think this is a great team, and great teams sometimes to suffer. They have their dark moments. I'll give you an example of all my teams I've seen win championships. Dark moments. The Bucks, about 2 weeks before they won the NBA championship, thought that Giannis was going to be injured. Everybody said that they were going to lose to the Phoenix Suns because they didn't know what he would look like health wise. He went out. They end up winning that game in 6, wearing world championships. Nobody remembers that, right? With the Eagles last year, I don't know. Maybe a lot of guys don't understand, but with the Eagles last year, they had a time where the quarterback was injured. They had just lost to Washington in a freakish way, like Villa, like last second heartbreaker. They don't lose a game after that, and they go on to win it all. So great teams, they do lose games. Not all great teams win every game. And sometimes like this, you have to understand the full picture. This is not the whole season. Let's rest our players. Let's get everybody back. Let's get some players back fit, and let's go on and let's I think we're going to be okay. Now, I will say I will say this, and this is exclusively for my viewers here on Fire Them Cannons because you guys are my boys. Yeah, it's the league isn't easy, and it's going to be harder than I have publicized. It's going to be harder than I have publicized to everybody. Man
he said
City
it.
could win. Man City can win the league. They are capable of winning the league as they've shown in previous years. Okay. Do I think we're going to win it still? Yes, of course. And I will defend us against all rival fans always. I'm not going to let a defeat allow them in. I just am not. And so that's the way I'm going to be on other
He
streams.
said the
I'm going to
league's
be.
gonna be difficult, guys. That's crazy.
By the way, that's so
What do
funny.
you know?
I know. It's not. We're not running. We're not walking the league, but we're still
Yeah,
winning it.
we're not gonna walk. Not gonna walk the
But
league.
we're
For
still winning
sure.
it.
Yeah,
We're
I
still
still
are.
believe we're gonna win it.
What about you,
Nate
Cal?
says
Yeah.
Springboks got beaten by like 50 points before we went on to win back-to-back World Cups.
Right.
I don't know what sport this is.
That's rugby. That's
Rugby.
Springboks. Isn't Springboks the South African rugby team, right?
Oh, okay, okay,
I saw there was a movie about them with
okay.
like I forgot what's his name. He was the actor who's in that. Anyway, Nate, you let me know the actor. Because it's bothering me. Yep, South Africa. Who was the
I,
actor who played the Springboks guy in the movie, the really famous one? Anyway, Cal,
yeah.
what's your parting message to the people, bro?
Um. Yeah. My parting message is,
Matt
just
Damon, thank you. There it is, Matt
my
Damon.
message is, let's just, we don't need to panic, and we don't need to, blame all our players, and we just don't need to, have agendas, but it's okay to, be worried, and just still back your team, believe in your team, and because if you don't believe in them, who will? The rivals won't. So
This is the
yeah,
difference between teams that win or not, because this is the crucial point. The
yep,
team, if the fans turn on them, we're becoming Liverpool.
yep. I mean, I just to be just to be um just to show you an example. Like, I was watching when we were watching the Wolves game, I put it in the chat, in the group chat.
Mm.
Like, every time Wolves were trying to attack Manchester United, they were being extremely cautious because they have low confidence, and the crowd was literally screaming at them on their own ground to get the ball forward and to do something with the ball. Puts pressure on their own players. They keep losing the ball when trying to build up in the attack because they can't slow down the game when they're getting hammered, and because the crowd is just on their backs. It's not good. It's not good, So I think we don't need to be delusional. We don't need to pretend that when we see problems that they aren't problems, but like to slate up players, to call up players names. I see people making jokes and them memeing on our own players.
Oh, wait, what's
Like,
this
when I
fat
see,
thing about Gyökeres? Have you
yeah,
seen that
when
one?
players, yeah, when people are calling our own players, like they're calling Gyökeres Brock Lesnar, I expect that from rivals. I don't expect that from Arsenal fans. I think it's okay to criticize Gyökeres and say I wanted you to be better, but I don't believe in name calling your own players. I believe it's our job to make up names for rival players. You know, like, that's why I
Yeah,
call freaking
Destiny or Doggy Style. That's what I call it.
yeah, yeah, stuff like that, Lamens, I call him lemon pepper. You know what I'm saying?
Lemon pepper.
I called Walter Maid Voldemort. Like, you know what I mean? That's our jobs as rivals of other clubs. We call them by these nicknames. Before Madueke came to Arsenal, I used to call him Maduki. I haven't called him Maduki
Maduki.
since he joined us. He's an
Maduki.
Arsenal player now. So yeah, let's not do that. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely true. Like we, as much as we have PTSD, let's just kind of like still back the team and still have good things to say. Because I'll tell you, this is something I've observed this week, and it's a bit shocking to me. Our rival fans, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I could see it because they're in our group chats, and we could see the way they reacted to draws. The minute that ball went to the back of the net, there are probably about 250 messages within the space of 60 seconds because a bunch of people who are afraid to talk when we're winning have everything to say when we lose. They've saved it, and then they just hit send on like 250 different things, and I couldn't even read them all. Let's not be the same. Like, don't give them what they want as Arsenal fans. That's what I've been trying my hardest to do. Right? They're trying to set you up. They're going to clap you and give you standing ovations when you give them what they want. Don't give into that bullshit. Right? They want to see us fail. They want to see our downfall. So let's just keep believing. Right? We will let you know. Well, look, trust me. If I'm fucking telling you that this thing is in trouble, then believe me because
Yeah, if Anton's worried, that means we're cooked.
but again,
I'm telling you.
even today, I've told you what went wrong. I've told you criticize what needs to be criticized. I've criticized the manager. I think he didn't set the right lineup up. I think he took too long with Saliba. He was too cautious with Saliba. At least have him on the bench. What's the harm in that? Play him instead of Lewis Skelly in the last 5 minutes. I reckon we draw that game. Anyway, guys.
Yep, it was a good pod. We almost 2 hours now. It's quite a long one, but we had a lot on our chest. I
But it's a
think
big
we're
one.
gonna try to do one over the weekend to just react to the Bruges game, and if
Quickly.
that one comes out, it's probably not going to be as long as this one here because
We're gonna be like, do we care about the result? Are we gonna be passionate? Probably not.
yeah, it's probably we had a lot to say for this one.
Oh, actually, on the Bruges game, guys, if I see any of you guys forcing your agendas because we dropped points to Club Bruges, shame on you. We all know that we would rather rest our players tomorrow and that we don't
Yeah, I
care
don't.
about this result.
Yeah,
Let's
but
not pretend if we drop points, if we draw tomorrow, let's not be Arteta out. Okay, I don't want to tell you guys how to feel. You feel how you want to feel, but I'm telling you, I'm not putting up with that. Because
I mean, I just hopefully we don't lose the game, but I don't think losing the game is acceptable, but like a draw, I just would be like, yeah, whatever. Just make sure that Rice is getting his rest and Saliba's getting his rest, and we could focus on the league.
Massive thanks to Liverpool for beating Inter, because that makes next week. Because if Inter would have won, they would have been on like the same amount of points. That now, like, even if we've gotten a 3-point buffer with Inter. So anyway, thank you, Liverpool. You did one thing right this year.
Yep. Alrighty. I think that's good to sign off.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys. Anton, Cal out.